One thing right off the bat, whatever it is that you are trying to create, achieve, or learn, there is a smarter and easier way to do it. Somebody's already figured it out. All you need to do is just find out how. Here is why most people fail to make it. Here is why most people get lost in the transition. It is supposed to be hard in the beginning. If it is still hard after a while, you are doing it wrong. It is true for everything in your life, and learning English is no exception. But the moment you open yourself to new possibilities, the moment you start seeking new ideas and new ways of doing it, it gets easier and more exciting than ever before. So today we are going to talk about some unconventional ways to achieve fluency in English. If you do manage to implement it in your learning, damn, the game is going to be so much easier for you to play and win. Don't focus too much on grammar. But first, disclaimer. If you are about to take up an English test or an examination, then of course you should study and learn grammar. However, if your goal is to solely become a fluent English speaker, you shouldn't spend too much of your time with those thick books of grammar. You don't need them. Just put them away. Put them out of your sight. Learning grammar rules doesn't help you to speak the language. On the contrary, it confuses you and slows down your progress. Just think of it this way. You speak your native language fluently, don't you? Yes, you do. We all do. So, moment of truth. How many grammar rules do you know to your native language? A few, I guess. Similarly, you can speak English fluently without knowing all the grammar rules. If trends are to be believed, only a fraction of English speakers across the globe is aware of only 20% of all the rules of grammar. Learn new words and phrases in meaningful context only. We tend to learn a lot of new words when we start learning the language. Don't we? Most of us do. We spend a whole lot of time learning new vocabulary words and their meanings. Because we have this thought in our minds that the more words we have up our sleeves, the easier it is for us to speak the language. But in reality, it is a sheer wastage of time. These words don't stick around for long. They stay with you for a while and then they are all gone. And even if you have them in some remote corner of your mind, they don't come to you when you need them while speaking. The most valuable words are those that come to you easily when you need them while speaking the language, while communicating in the language, right? And it happens when you learn new words, phrases, and expression in meaningful contexts or in real life situations. And this way, it is easier to learn them and use them. And they stay with you forever. And most importantly, they come to you instantly and automatically while speaking the language. So make it a point to learn everything in meaningful context. Nothing out of context. Reading and listening is not enough. Practice speaking what you hear and read. Now you know English very well because you have been studying and learning the language for a while now. Reading, writing, listening, and comprehending the language come effortlessly to you. But when it comes to speaking, you find yourself tongue-tied. You get nervous, stutter, and even go blank when someone expects you to answer them in English. I know it feels terrible, especially because you don't have a real explanation as why this happens to you. Although deep down you know that you can speak the language well. You have it in you. So why does this happen to you? What holds you back from speaking the language the way you think you can? Well, it's no brainer to figure out the reason. Generally it happens because you spend most of your time reading and listening. You read books in English. You read newspaper in English. You read your study materials in English. Then you listen to a lot of English content while watching English TV, English movies, English online tutorials. What I mean to say is you spend most of your time consuming the language through reading, watching and listening and ignore the speaking part altogether. I hate to break it to you, but no amount of watching, reading or listening to English content will ever make you a fluent English speaker. You wanna speak the language fluently? Spend more time on creation than you spend on consumption. Yes, spend more time creating the language with your mouth. Practice speaking what you hear and read. Make it a part of your routine. And it's only a matter of time before you're gonna speak the language fluently. Surround yourself with English. You know what? Your brain is quite efficient at learning languages. It can do the job for you quite effortlessly. There is one condition to it though. You need to put it in an environment. And an ideal environment to learn a language is where it is spoken, where it is used for everyday communication. Just take a moment and think about it. You didn't have to put any special efforts into learning your native language, did you? No. You soaked it up naturally from your environment, from your surrounding. Now, if you want to speak English as fluently and naturally as you do your native language, you need to surround yourself with English the way you are surrounded by your native language. And you can surround yourself with native English speakers anytime through English TV, English movies, English YouTube channels, English podcasts. There are so many resources available now. While learning your native language, you would copy your parents and other people from your surrounding. Now you have to copy native English speakers. Copy their accent, their pronunciation, how they structure sentences, vocabulary they use in a particular situation. Observe them closely and then repeat it over and over again until it comes perfectly to you. Simple. Well, this brings us to the end of today's video. If you liked the video, leave a like. Consider subscribing for more videos like this. I'm gonna see you in my next video. Until then, it's Inder. We shine anywhere and everywhere saying goodbye.